Hello, my name's Tim LeBon, and today we can have another video to help guide you through 365 ways to be more stoic. And we're going to start off today with a little quiz. So it's a Greek philosopher, and who are we going to talk about? So they said the unexamined life is not worth living. They showed courage and justice in facing their own death, and they're the philosopher mentioned most by Epictetus in his discourses. So who is it? Well, it's Socrates, as I'm sure you knew, and perhaps most known for that quote, the unexamined life is not worth living. But what does that really mean? I think what Socrates was getting at was that we are not like sheep. We do not have to follow the herd. So if you're a sheep, it's fine to just sit there all day, chewing grass, doing what your neighbour does. But you and I have the uniquely human capacity to think about things. What is it all about? What do I want to do with my life? And so Socrates invites us, indeed challenges us, to take the time to ask serious questions about our life, what matters in life. In other words, to philosophize. So in concrete terms, this means setting aside some time to think about your values, your life goals, how you can become the best version of yourself. Now, when Socrates asked himself this question, the answer he gave was very clear, that what mattered most was wisdom. And that is not Socrates, that picture there. Second quiz, who is that? Well, you probably realise it's Elon Musk. And I had the pleasure in seeing Elon Musk speak quite a few years ago, before he was really famous. And there are a lot of really good speakers at this conference, but he was outstanding. He was just completely on a different planet, intellectually, talking about how we could get to Mars, how we could build a rocket that would be able to come back from Mars, a vision of autonomous cars, and he was just dazzling in his intellect. And what was perhaps most memorable was when someone after his talk in the Q&A said, Elon Musk, I'm so impressed by what you said. How can I become like you? And I will never forget his answer. His answer was, well, actually, I don't know if you or anyone else would really want to be like me if you knew what it was like to be me. Now, why is this relevant? Well, Elon Musk, on the face of it, had it all. He had a brilliant intellect, loads of money, film star wife, as many possessions as he wants, but he was saying that he wasn't really very happy. This would not have surprised Socrates. So when Socrates started thinking about what mattered most in life, he looked around and he thought that most people sought happiness in the wrong places. They were searching for status, big achievements, lots of pleasure, accumulating lots of wealth, and yet they weren't happy. And I'm sure you can all think of celebrities who have those things but aren't happy. And why was this the case? Well, there's one of Plato's dialogues called the Euthydemus has a key argument in it, and it goes like this: that it's not so much about having what could be called external goods, pleasure, status, money, possessions, having a comfortable life, all those things. It's not so much about having them that's good, it's how you use them. You've got to use them well. So to give a more modern example, take a mobile phone. Mobile phones are a really good thing, but not if you use it to spend all your time scrolling through social media and making yourself miserable, comparing yourself with all the other enjoyable things that other people say they're doing on Instagram. So it's not having these things that is good, it's how you use them. And in fact, all these things could be potentially bad if they're used badly. Now, what is the quality that you need to use these things well? It's none other than wisdom. Wisdom is that quality that enables you to use everything else well. And it's the only thing that's unconditionally good. And wisdom, cultivating wisdom, is, according to Socrates, the key to a good and happy life. So the Stoics saw Socrates as an ideal role model, so much so that it is Socrates who is mentioned more than any other philosopher in Epictetus' discourse, in fact as many as 76 times, and that's partly because of his theory. So he believes in the examined life, and the answer he comes up with is that wisdom and indeed the other virtues are more important than the other things which the Stoics developed into their own theory about what is of value. But he also walked the talk. He lived a virtuous life himself, and when he faced his biggest challenge, being sentenced to death, many wanted to rescue him, and indeed his friends arranged for him to be rescued, and he would have none of it. He said, look, I faced trial, I went through the due process of law, and I was sentenced to death, and so it's only fair that I conform to it. And so he showed great courage when put to that ultimate test. So what are the take-home points? I think 3 things. One is to lead an examined life. And so today, ask yourself, what are my life goals? How can I become a better version of myself? Secondly, in your everyday life, in your everyday decision making, pause before prioritizing those external things over the inner qualities, particularly the inner qualities that we would call virtues, such as courage, justice, self-control, and wisdom. And finally, have Socrates at hand as your role model today and every day, and ask yourself, what would Socrates be doing now? How can Socrates guide me? So I hope that's been useful. If you want to discover more ways to be Stoic, then you can subscribe to this video. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, 365 Ways to Be More Stoic. You can go to my website, timlebon.com, or you can contact me by email, stoic@timlebon.com. And you can also get hold of the book, 365 Ways to Be More Stoic, available at Amazon and at all good book stores. So that's all from today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.